we liked the Brock Purdy contract extension upon further review. So let's re-examine the entire freaking offseason, since it seems like the Niners have done what they're going to do. Did they do a good job? Are they having a good offseason?
I think it's all in how you look at it. Did they have a good offseason to put themselves in the best position to be Super Bowl competitive in 2025? No, they didn't. But did they have the best offseason that they could have if they want to be competitive beyond 2025? And to that, I think the answer is yes. And so for me, Grant, I think they have had a very good offseason. It's not perfect. I mean, there's some weird draft picks I wish they would have done differently, or, maybe taken the full dead cap on some of the players that they pushed into 2026. I get all of that. But for the most part, I've been pleading for this team to move on from the players that they moved on from since week 4 last year. So the fact that they did it, I can't then come back around and be like, yeah, that was stupid. Why'd you do that? So I think if I'm grading the offseason for 2025, maybe like a B minus, but if I'm grading it for the future, I'm giving it a solid A. I think that they've set themselves up, because if you look at it, Grant, the way that this dead cap money is going to fall off next year, and then this Brock Purdy deal, there is no restraints other than Jed York just saying, you know what, I want to not spend money. But as far as a cap wise,
that's what I want to talk
about. They can spend whatever money they want.
I feel like you nailed it. I feel like the Niners got like an A, maybe like an A plus, based on the constraints that the owners put on them. And that's my question. And I mean, it's like, when all the people left, when all those players left, and the Niners didn't really sign anyone to replace them, you could say that all those players needed to go. I'm not arguing with you. Maybe I nitpick 1 or 2, but maybe sign 2 or 3 instead of relying on a bunch of rookies to replace them. I was thinking, man, this Brock Purdy contract is going to be crazy expensive with stupid cap numbers. Then the initial numbers come out. I'm like, boom, this is exactly what I expected, man. This is terrible. Then the actual numbers come out, and I'm like, Wait, so his cap number is $9 million this year, and it's 20 something next year, and it's So why didn't you sign players? Well, I don't understand. Like you get like I agree with you, like a B minus for 2025. I feel like they could have had an A. I'm looking at them right now. Yeah, they have a lot of dead cap. They also have the 3rd most cap space in the league. So why not sign a left guard? It didn't have to be Banks, but why not sign a freaking left guard? Or DJ Humphries instead of Andre Dillard. That's my only thing. The only thing.
Yeah. Humphries.
You really could have afforded Dre Greenlaw. You could have afforded Talanoa Hufanga. You just decided not to bring him back. And that's fine. Injury stuff. You could have signed one freaking free agent, 1 or 2.
Yeah, they definitely could have. But I think
like Drew Dahlman.
Trust me.
You know what I'm saying? They could have actually upgraded at center.
They could have. And that's why it's not a perfect offseason by any means. But when you look at how this offseason has gone, and now that we've got the totality of it, it really does start to make sense. Like, okay, we don't want to spend on aging veterans, not only with our own team necessarily, guys that are free agents. We're not going to re-up them because they have injury history and there's a track record there. So we're going to push off of that. Then we're not going to just go sign a bunch of guys that other teams don't want and overspend, because we don't feel like we're ready to win now. And it's burned us in the past. It has burned us in the past. So now what they get to do is, okay, let's try to replace all those guys with younger, cheaper players. And if it
get them as many reps as possible this year.
Yes.
So it makes sense.
And if it doesn't work out, Grant, then guess what they can do? They can do what they did with Kinlaw, which was, this isn't working. Let's go spend heavy on a defensive tackle and replace them. They can do that next year. They can.
It's all making sense. I want to nitpick them. I want to critique them, but it makes sense. Here's my last thing I want to ask you, just to like really Captain Hindsight them. But you brought this up last year. In retrospect, how much better off would the Niners be right now if they had done all of this last year? Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use promo code Cohn, C-O-H-N, and download the app now.
Well, I will tell you this.
Did they save it by doing it now?
Not fully. They would have had more draft capital. So the things that they did, they could have had maybe, an extra 3rd round pick, an extra 4th round pick. and maybe they could have maneuvered a little bit more in the draft. And the 49ers did say this, hey, the offensive line thing, we really wanted to, but it just didn't make sense the way it was falling. If they had an extra third round pick, maybe they could have had the perfect draft and gotten a true offensive lineman that we all believe in and said, oh man, you guys really, you got everything that was needed out of this draft. So
that's true. Like, they put themselves in a position where they had to draft so many things, and inevitably one was not going to break their way. And it's unfortunate that it's the offensive lineman, because you think that when you make this type of investment in the quarterback, the highest paid quarterback in franchise history, there's a corresponding investment in the offensive line. Just like when you buy a house, there's also all the insurance that goes along with it.
absolutely, yeah.
But
And
hey,
if
maybe there won't be
they
a fire in California. Good luck, Niners. I don't know. Sorry.
well, think about it like this, though. Teams at the trade deadline are desperate. They're trying to win. So you look at a team, Washington's a great example. What'd they give? A fifth round pick for Debo? You might have pulled a fourth round pick out of them, because they were, at that time, they were making a playoff push. The
True.
city was excited. They wanted to make a playoff push. They knew that they needed another weapon. They easily could have been like, hey, Debo, fourth round pick. Yeah, this is worth it for us. So you might have squeezed a little bit more juice out of that one. And then also, you could have traded a player like Dre Greenlaw when he got healthy and gotten something for him instead of just letting him walk to Denver anyways. So they had some opportunity, but better now than later for sure.